Hi guys, welcome back, and today I am going to show you how to crochet these fall themed peekaboo fingerless gloves. I'm going to call this an intermediate pattern just because of the stitch variation. I've used some single crochets and back loop only single crochets in the cuff. I have some half double crochet rows. These peekaboo panels are done with a double crochet, and then the top trim I used a peacock stitch. There is one edge row worked here at the top of the cuff, and obviously some increases throughout the body. If you are a beginner or some of this is new to you, don't be discouraged. It is a super easy pattern to make, and because it works together so quickly, it's a really good pattern for beginner crocheters to learn and practice new stitches and techniques. I will try to keep the video as beginner friendly as possible as well. So if some of this is new to you, just stick with me and I will walk you through it. For those of you who are a little more experienced, I will provide written instructions on screen so that everyone can follow along at their own pace. To get started with this pattern, you will need yarn and a hook. I am using a 5mm crochet hook. That's a US size H. And for yarn, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver Stripes, and the color is Fall. So this glove is worked starting down here with the cuff, and the cuff is worked back and forth this way. So we're going to be making just this piece here. We are going to start with a chain 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So not this chain that your hook is in, but this next one over. And to make a single crochet, you'll insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. That is a single crochet. And you're going to work a single crochet in each one of these stitches back to your start. There's 2. There's 3 and 4. And then this last one here is 5. You're going to chain 1 for your turn stitch, turn your work, and you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches here. So what we're going to do is put a single crochet in the first stitch and a single crochet in the last stitch. And these center 3 stitches, we are going to use a back loop only single crochet. So for your first stitch, skipping over the chain stitch, go through both of these loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That is a single crochet. And in the next stitch, you can see that we have a front loop here and a back loop. So we are going to insert the hook through just the back loop, right through the center, pick up the back loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. That is a back loop only single crochet, and we are going to do 2 more. So back loop only, there's 2, back loop only, and then in this last stitch, we are just going to do a regular single crochet. So we are taking, taking both loops here. Like that. Chain 1 and turn. And the next row is going to be the same thing. Single crochet, back loop only single over the next 3, and then a single crochet here in the last stitch. And if you look at this, you can see our exposed 3 front loops here. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then these first and last stitches will kind of work as anchors. So you're going to keep working back and forth, doing singles on the ends and back loop only singles in the center 3 stitches until you have 26 rows. Once you have 26 rows, we will stitch them together and start working on the body of the glove. When you finished your 26 rows, you will notice that your start tail and your working yarn are on opposite ends of your piece, and the exposed front loops of our back loop only single crochets have created these nice ridges in the piece as well. And if you lay this out with your start tail on the right hand side, you can count each one of these ridges will count as 2 rows. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26. If you turn it on the other side and count the ridges, you'll notice that there are only 12. So you want the side with 13 ridges. Keep your start tail on the right and count up 13. That is 26 rows. The side with 13 is also the outside facing piece of the cuff, so we're going to want that on the inside when we seam it. So go ahead and fold it in half so that your start chain and your last row worked match up. And then we're going to turn it around so that your working yarn is on the right hand side. You're going to chain 1. And then we're going to be slip stitching both of these pieces together. So you'll go into the first stitch on this side and also into the first stitch on the opposite side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th one. Yarn over, and you're going to pull through both of those and then pull through that last loop as well. That's a slip stitch. And you are going to continue working for the remaining 4 stitches on both sides. So here's number 2, and locate number 2 on the other side and slip stitch. This is the 3rd one, and the 3rd one on the other side, and slip stitch. And then number 4, and 4 on the other side, slip stitch, and then into this last one as well on both sides. Slip stitch, and now chain 1, and you can go ahead and pull this loop out so you can put your hook down. So there's your seam, and all of these 13 ridges are on the outside of the cuff. And you might notice that this looks a little bit small. So this glove is actually made as a woman's size, I would say small medium. And I just want to show you how it fits. So you put your hand inside, and it is pretty snug here around the widest part of your hand. But once you pull it down, you can see that the cuff fits nicely, plenty of room here on the thumb, and everything fits and looks like it's supposed to. So the trick to getting these to fit just right is to make sure that your cuff is as small as you can get it while still being able to pull it over the widest part of your hand. If you find that your hands are a little bit bigger on the widest part here, you can always add some more rows. Just make sure that you always end on an even number of rows, because it will make the border go on much more smoothly. So now that you've got that done, you want to face it so that these ridges are facing you. And what we're going to do is put 2 half double crochets in the top of each one of these ridges. So for a half double, we're going to yarn over. We are going to go into this top of the first ridge here, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, and we are going to go through all 3 of them. That is a half double crochet, and you can see it's in the top, the very top of this ridge here. And then we're going to do it again here in the same stitch. There's 2 of them. And for the next 2, we are going to go right here into the top of the next ridge. And 2. You can locate your next ridge. I just want to show you guys here. We've got 2 at the top of this ridge, 2 at the top of this ridge, and 2 at the top of this ridge. You're going to work these all the way around in the top of each ridge, including this one here. And I am crocheting right over my start tail here so that I don't have to weave it in later. We're just going to continue around. And once you get back to your starting point, you're going to go right here into this first stitch that you made, the first half double. And you're just going to slip stitch to finish the round. Like that. And if you count your stitches around, you should have 26, 2 stitches in each of 13 ridges. And then we're going to chain 1 and go ahead and turn. So you can see this is my chain 1, this is my slip stitch, and this is the stitch that I'm going to be working into. And these are also going to be half doubles. So skip that chain and that slip stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3 of them again. That is a half double. And this is going to be an increase half double crochet row. So in the first stitch, we're going to put 2. And then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in each of the next 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. All right, that's 10, 11, and 12. And then in the 13th stitch here, we are going to do 2 half double crochets. There's 1, there's another one in the same stitch, and then in the remaining 12 stitches, again, just one half double crochet. And I want to show you guys when we get to the last stitch here. Hold on. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so this was the last one that we put 2 in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this last stitch, number 12, is the same stitch that you slip stitched into the first time. So don't forget that last stitch. Half double crochet in there, and then again we are going to slip stitch to your first half double crochet to finish the round. And now we've added 2, so we've gone from 26, now we have 28, and this next row is going to be your first peekaboo row. So you're going to start with a chain 3, and go ahead and turn your work again. And again, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3 chains. This is my slip stitch, and this one is the stitch that I'm going to be skipping actually. So the chain 3 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. And for this row, we're going to double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So this one's a double crochet and chain 1. We're going to skip this one, and we are going to double crochet into the next one. So we're skipping over our chain 3, we're skipping over the first and second stitches, and we're going into the third. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop, 3 on there, and this time we're going to pull through just 2 and then the last 2. That is a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1. And we are going to skip this one and go into the next one and make another double crochet. 2, 3, like that. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And you are going to work it like this all the way around. So you can see here, this is a double crochet, this is a skipped stitch, double crochet, skip, double crochet, skip, and for each one that we've skipped, we have a chain here as well. So you want to work those all the way around until you get back to the start. So now that you're back here, you are going to go into the second chain of your chain 3. So make sure you leave a chain here. And we are going to take the second one. And that is a slip stitch. Just to finish the round so everything looks nice and even. And on the next row, we're going to chain 1. And turn. This is going to be another half double crochet row. So skip your chain stitch and your slip stitch. And we are going to be working into these chain 1 spaces now. 2 half doubles in each space. So yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop. And then all 3 of them for a half double crochet. There's 1. There's 2. And that's 2 in this one. So there's 2, 2, that's 2, And you're going to continue working like this, 2 half double crochets in each chain 1 space all the way around. And that should leave you still with 28 stitches. The next row is going to be another increase row. So once you make it around, go ahead and slip stitch into that first half double crochet again, and then chain 1 and turn again. And in this row, we are going to be increasing another 2 stitches. So we went from 26, increased to 28, and now we are going to increase 2 more for 30. So we are going to make sure that you're skipping your chain and your slip stitch, and half double crochet twice in this first stitch. There's 1 half double, there's 2 half doubles, and then 1 half double crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then in the next stitch, we are also going to put 2 half double crochets. So there's 1, and this is 2 in the same stitch. And we have 13 stitches left in this round, and we are going to put 1 half double crochet in each of those last 13 stitches. And when you get to the end here again, don't forget this last stitch. Half double crochet. All right, and when you finish with this round, same thing, slip stitch to this first half double. And the next row is going to be another peekaboo row, but it is also going to be a increase row. So we're going to chain 3 and turn your work. And again, this chain 3 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. So we'll skip the 3 chains, skip your slip stitch here, and then instead of skipping this first stitch, we are going to work a double crochet into it. So again, double crochet gets 2 and 2. So now we've got this chain 3 that counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and then another double crochet, chain 1, and into the very next stitch again, we're going to work another double crochet and chain 1. And then after you've done these first 2 stitches, we are going to continue working just like the last row and skipping 1 between each double. So I have my chain 1 here. I'm going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next one. And again, and you are going to work around like this with a skip between each one until you get to the last 2. And on the last 2, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the first 2, and we are going to double crochet and chain 1 in each of those as well without skipping. And those will be our increases for, this is the part that goes around your thumb. Just bear with me here for a minute, I'm getting there. So once you have finished this round, you can see I've got my double crochet here and my chain one, and I have 3 stitches left. So I'm going to skip this one, and these last 2 stitches are the ones I'm going to be working into. So in this one, we'll do a double crochet, chain one, and instead of skipping this last stitch, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to double crochet and chain one, and then slip stitch back into your second chain here. Oh, sometimes it's kind of hard to get into because it's curled underneath. There we go. And then chain one, turn again, and just like last time, we're going to be working 2 half double crochets into each one of these chain one spaces. Sorry, I can keep my hook in there. There's 1, and there is 2. And then 2 in the next one. And 2 in the next one. And again, you're just going to continue working 2 half double crochets in each one of these chain spaces all the way around. When you've finished this row, you should have 34 stitches now. So go ahead and slip stitch to this first half double, chain one, turn your work, and on this row we are actually going to be closing it to fit around this upper part of the hand. So you are going to yarn over and make sure that you're skipping this chain and your slip stitch, and we're going to half double crochet in this first stitch here, and we're going to keep doing a single half double crochet for 28 stitches. So this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4. So once you've done 28 stitches, what we're going to do is skip over all of the rest of these, just fold them off to the side, and then go ahead and insert your hook into that first half double crochet we made on this row and slip stitch to close that round. And the next row is going to be another peekaboo row. So we're going to chain 3 and turn your work. And again, we're skipping these chain 3 and skipping the slip stitch and skipping the first stitch. And going into this second one. All right, so this counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. This is our skipped stitch. There's a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, and the next one. And no increases on this row, so you're going to work all the way around, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Just continue around like that until you get to the other. Once you've made it back here, you can go ahead and slip stitch into this second chain here to close that round. And you can see that we now have the cuff of the glove and most of the body done. This is the thumb hole. And your next row is going to be another half double crochet row. So we're going to chain one, turn your work, and same thing, 2 half double crochets in each one of these spaces. There's 2. Continue working like that again until you get back to the start. And our next row is going to be the very last row. That's where we're going to do our peacock edging. Okay, now that we've finished that row, we are going to slip stitch again into this first half double crochet, chain 1 and turn. And this is the very last row, and we are going to do a peacock edging on it. So skip your chain stitch and your slip stitch and half double crochet here in this first stitch, and then half double crochet in the next stitch. And then we are going to work a peacock off of this second half double crochet. So to make a peacock, you're going to chain 2, slip stitch into this first chain, and then we're also going to slip stitch right here into the side of this half double crochet. There's the post, and if you just turn it sideways, you can see these 2 loops right here, and you want to go through both of those and yarn over, pull up a loop, and just pull that through. And then half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. There's 1 and 2. And then we're going to work another peacock off of this. So chain 2, go back into the first chain and slip stitch, and then slip stitch also into this side of this half double post. And then half double crochet in the next 2. And now you can see that we've got these nice little peacock stitches on top. So for the rest of this last row, you're just going to do the same thing all the way around. You're going to half double crochet 2 and put a peacock at the top of the second half double. And always make sure that you are also slip stitching into the side of your base stitch. So when you get around, you will have a peacock stitch right here in the last stitch, and then you can go ahead and slip stitch into that first half double, and you can cut off your end and weave that in because this glove is finished. Now you will need 2 of these to make a pair, and I would also like to note that the peacock stitches here on the last row are totally optional. Peacock stitches are pretty, but they can be a bit challenging to master. Even I will admit that they are my least favorite stitch to make. I do have this pair though, and I just did a half double crochet in each stitch around, and then I went back over them with a slip stitch to kind of make the edging look nicer. The full written pattern for these with detailed sizing instructions can be purchased for a minimal fee in my Etsy shop, and I will leave my shop link in the description below if you're interested in purchasing the pattern. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed making these gloves. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Your feedback is very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.